NASCAR visited the Chicago street course over the weekend. Was it a success or was it a bust? Let's discuss. Let's get into this. So first, we'll get into the good. There was great hype around this weekend's action. That you could feel the buzz in the air, that you could feel the momentum. This was something different. You had NASCAR fans excited for the unknown. That's the momentum that NASCAR was carrying into the weekend. They built the event up great. They promoted the heck out of it and did a great job from that standpoint. And not only that, this was a new market. This race had the ability to bring in new fans. Okay, they brought the racing to a big city. Instead, they brought the racing to the crowd, to the masses, to the people, instead of on a traditional race weekend where the people would have to travel to the racing. There's more people in a metropolitan city than there would be in Joliet for Chicagoland. I mean, normally in a traditional weekend, people have to travel to the racetrack. This way, boom, you go right into downtown Chicago. You're right in the heart of Chicago where there's lots of people. There's more people in a city than there would be in the country. And this wasn't built as just a race. This was an event. You had concerts, you had parties, etc. So this was more than a race. Unfortunately, now that brings us to the bad. Now, granted, NASCAR cannot control weather, and when Mother Nature decides to rear its ugly head in, but weather would unfortunately not cancel the Miranda Lambert, Chainsmokers, and Charlie Crockett concerts on Saturday. And not only that, that storm Saturday evening into Sunday morning, that would lead to the unfortunate cancellation of the Xfinity race at before halfway. So, for all the fans that went to the Xfinity race on Saturday, they saw 20 laps, 50 miles. The race was short to begin with, and then to make it even shorter due to weather, it really sucked and was really a buzz killer for the fans that chose to go to Saturday's events. And the rain would not stop on Saturday, as it would kill Sunday morning's events for the most part as well, and delay the start of the race by up to an hour for the Cup Series. I mean, the rain was so heavy, it was probably 2 inches of standing water. They showed the commentators walking around. It was clearly over their shoes. And you would look at that and you would say, there is no way in hell that they were going to race that race on Sunday night. But NASCAR stuck with it, and they tried. And props to NASCAR for trying. And they got the race in. Granted, it wasn't 100 laps, it was only 75 laps, so it was 25 laps shorter, but they got the race in nonetheless. And I think that was an important leg to this. But obviously the rain was a disaster. It wrecked the momentum. It was a buzzkill. The hype got washed away. Not how anyone wanted to see it, not how the city of Chicago, not how NASCAR wanted to see it. Now, put that aside. Going into the race weekend, unfortunately, a contractor was killed Prior to the weekend, Dwayne Trubisky, age 53, died while setting up the street course. Rest in peace to him. And so that was a bad negative look going into the weekend. Also then on Saturday night, as the Xfinity cars were literally parked on pit road, a man was arrested for unauthorized vehicle entry onto the racetrack. So we had a guy driving his street car around the racetrack. I mean, this kind of thing is expected. High crime in major cities. So NASCAR has to take that into account and realize that going into a major metropolitan city. Crime, murder, everything's on the rise. A lot of the drivers were saying that they come down out of their hotels and walk to the racetrack with little to no security around, fans walking up, taking pictures, signing autographs. Now, from a fan standpoint, that's good. But if a criminal or somebody wanted to have access and potentially harm one of the crews or drivers, NASCAR needs to kind of give their drivers at least some security, especially in these major cities. But does this, at the end of the day, does this have a future in NASCAR? Obviously, this is not what we're used to as NASCAR fans. I do like that they are trying something new. However, I think we need to try this without all the distractions, without all the rain. So try it again next year. Just please don't rain. Now, I know NASCAR has no control over that, like I said, but a weekend uninterrupted, unmomentum killed by rain. I do think that with the crowds that we saw at the racetrack this weekend and the crowds on TV, a 10-year, I believe it was 10-year, no, 6-year high in ratings, other than the Daytona 500. I do think street racing is possible to be successful in NASCAR. However, if you want to lower the cost from a business standpoint, team up with IndyCar. Split the bill for the permits. Split the bill for the setup. Because when NASCAR goes singly and does one of these events like Chicago, they have to foot the entire bill. Where if you teamed up with IndyCar, IndyCar could pay half, you could pay half. It would work out an agreement. It would be less money for the sanctioning body to hold the race. Now, you could go to other street courses, possibly New York City, Las Vegas, Montreal, Long Beach, St. Pete, Toronto. I think there's big markets for this, but you have to be smart in how you do things. Again, not only with the security standpoint, but with how you spend your money, because this is not cheap. So I do think overall that this weekend was a big, giant success for NASCAR. I think the racing on Sunday provided the entertainment value that you want, and it drawed more fans in. But how many of those fans are going to stick around? That's another question. When we go to a mile and a half like Kentucky or Las Vegas, how many of those fans are going to... You got to remember, what are you looking for? Are you looking for racing, or are you looking for entertainment? Is this the worldwide... is this WWE? Are we looking for an entertainment value, or are we looking for actual stock car racing? We have to stay true to our roots, but at the same time, try some new things every now and then, and that's a fine line, because you piss off one side of the fan base, or you alienate another. There's no happy medium. NASCAR fans like to complain.